Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm cinematographer Drew Geraci, and if you haven't heard already, MidJourney is now officially in open beta. This means you can sign up and subscribe on their website and start working on creating your own inspirational works of AI art. In this video, I'll show you some of my favorite prompts along with some of my buddies, and hopefully by the end of the video, you'll be inspired to try some of your own. If you're new to creating AI-generated imagery, check out Peter Sazabo's prompt generator at promptomania.com. It's super easy to use and a great way to get very detailed and very focused prompts. Now, for these first few prompts, I really wanted to go out and try to find, kind of ethereal ways to depict what I wanted. In this case, we were looking at, Heaven's Gates, if it was corporatized in this sense. But I really wanted to make sure that I used the right colors and the right tones. And for this, I used marble and golden light, and I think it worked out really well. In this next example, I really wanted to make sure that it came across as if it were a Romanesque Greek type landscape. So in the prompt, I made sure to use those words like Zeus, mythology, and Rome to really make it pop. And as you can see, I think it did a pretty great job. These next set of images are actually probably one of my favorites because they're tarot cards, and you can, put anything you want in the center of those cards if you want, but that has to be the first descriptor in your prompt. So for these, I was using different types of skulls, and then I switched over to angels, and then eventually the fox. And I think that all of these are incredibly intricate and incredibly ornate, and I just love. It's not necessarily detail, but I love the essence of detail, one might say. But they're absolutely beautiful. They're almost fairy tale-like, and I think that the AI generation did a really great job doing that. And the fox is actually one of my favorites. I was thinking about making a print of this, but just being able to get that detail in the shot. But as you can see, it's a nice vertical 17 by 9 aspect ratio, and it really just comes across with great detail. For these prompts, I was really just going for more landscape type shots here, and I wanted to go with volcanoes to see how the AI generator actually worked with that, and I think that it came across pretty good. I haven't been able to get the exact volcano that I've wanted yet, but there's always room for improvement. This prompt is actually probably my favorite just because it really gives you a beautiful landscape feel. It's very moody in the sense that you've got all these really nice sunset colors and different hues of oranges, yellows, and reds, and it really combines that sunset feel in this shot. And there's so many different varieties here. I probably did about 30 or 40 different takes of this so I could find the best ones. And realistically, this was just describing a jungle scene and marshlands, wetlands with rivers, and I think the results were really wonderful. When you get into more space-type things, it can be a little more cumbersome to create exactly what you want. In this particular prompt, I wanted to have the inside of the console shown, and as you can see, the AI did a really nice job of putting the console together, and I thought that it was really interesting how it put chairs and like dashboards in appropriate locations, and it just looked really neat. Now, the macro scale on this is absolutely insane. I didn't think that the AI would actually be able to generate such a high quality render, but on this you actually get that material feeling of the crystals and the volumetric lighting in the sky, as well as all of the different particles. And I think the AI did an amazing job for that, and it really gives you an idea of what a crystalline planetary landscape might actually look like. Now, if we go into a more dystopian time period, this was a Brave New World, and I really thought that it did a great job combining what the new world's going to look like, and apparently in the AI's new world, it is a wasteland for humans, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Obviously, it's a bad thing, but it's kind of interesting and remarkable to see how the AI reacted to that prompt and gave us what's described. This is from my buddy Josh. He is an incredible salesman and now AI generating art guy, and I have to say he came up with some incredible prompts here. This is a futuristic city with samurais, and overall I think he did a wonderful job displaying the prompt and getting some really interesting and very intricate work, in my opinion, especially with these type of like silhouette profiles. going back to landscapes, I wanted to kind of see what the different types of lighting would affect the scene differently. And in this first one, we kind of did like a golden sunset, and then I switched out the prompt from golden sunset to the aurora borealis, and you get a very stark change in color and contrast. But I think the AI did a really wonderful job putting it together. Obviously, there's some mountains in the sky on top of the other mountains, but it just gives it kind of this really nice, neat look, almost 3D look. And then we transition over to the churches, and coming up with the church was just, my idea of what would be the interior of a dilapidated church, and I think the AI did a wonderful job depicting that too. Now, if there's anything else you guys want to see, just throw them down below in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them, and if you have any questions, just let me know. As always, if you like what you saw, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Happy AI generating. Cheers.